Hello and welcome to my channel. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoy it. Please subscribe to this channel and also click the little bell to be notified every time I upload. Thank you for watching. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and to all the new people who've subscribed recently, welcome, and all the people who subscribed already, thank you so much for being with me still. I just wanted to tell you today about a lovely girl called Abigail. Her channel is called Radically Dark, and she's one of the alternative YouTubers who we did that Don't Rush Brush challenge with recently, and she's challenged everyone from her side now, and she wants us to do a little video about music. So it's going to be her, Radically Dark, her channel, Lolly from Heavy Metal Mama channel, Jules from Mama Goth, and Backbones, who you may know as well. So the four girls and I are going to be talking to you a little bit about music. I've got two playlists which I will link in one of these things that I'm going to learn how to put up here. I'm also going to link it in the description. I'm also going to link them in the description below as well. In Abigail's Radically Dark video, she explained that she wouldn't be able to monetize her video because she might get stopped using the actual music video clips by YouTube. So I'm going to have to look out for that as well. But because I've got two playlists to choose from, and I'm going to be choosing the slightly more obscure one, they might not notice. Okay, so my two playlists, I've got them written down in some notes, because as you know, it's difficult for me to remember everything all the time. One playlist is called Totally Essential, and that is basically my rock, goth, heavy, essential tracks, some of which you might enjoy yourself as well already. People like Fields of the Nephilim, my all-time favourite band of all time, The Cult, Sisters of Mercy, Led Zeppelin, The Doors, The Mission, NFD, that sort of thing. So if you want to look at expected totally essential tracks, have a look at that playlist. Today I'm going to be talking about my unexpected essentials on my playlist that I thought, well, what are the songs that really people wouldn't expect me to like, but which put a shiver up my spine, bring a tear to my eye, really make me feel. And that's what music's all about, I think. It just makes you feel really intensely, and it doesn't matter whether it's a feeling of joy or sorrow or just something that you can't quite put your finger on. Music can move you to a whole nother place. So pretty much all of these are going to be from times gone by. As you know, I am incredibly old, so the first 1, 2, 3 songs are from the 1960s, and the first one is the Ronettes and Be My Baby.
The night we met, I knew I needed you so. And if I had the chance, I'd never let you go. So won't you say you love me? I'll make you so proud of me. We'll make them turn their heads.
that song was declared by Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys to be the greatest pop record ever made. And there's something about it, it's joyful and yet it's got a hint of sadness and darkness about the whole of it as well. So I love it, I just love it. And I love the Ronettes as well. I'm a huge sucker for that Phil Spector wall of sound music. I think it's great. Next up, also from the 60s, Be My Baby was 1963, by the way. Moving on to 1968, we have Valerie by the Monkees. And the Monkees had a TV show which aired in America from 66 to 68 and which aired over here for a long time after that. And it was one of the first American TV shows that made you think, that's where I want to be, that's where I want to go. Completely manufactured, completely plastic and built from nothing, but absolutely adorable. And this song as well, very happy, very poppy, but it's got a little dark tinge to it, a little sad minor key that I really find deeply attractive. And that's Valerie by the Monkees. Moving right along, and there's a band called Cream who are central to the history of British rock, and one of my favourite tracks of theirs is called Tales of Brave Ulysses, or Ulysses as they pronounce it in the song. This is released 1967, and I used to hear it all the time when I was 10, 11, 12. I used to listen to a transistor radio under the bedclothes at night so my parents wouldn't hear. I had a little tiny earpiece that I could put in, or I would just have it super quiet, and I used to listen to Radio Caroline, which was a pirate radio station broadcasting from a ship in the North Sea. And it was the most rebellious thing you could possibly do, listen to a radio station that you weren't supposed to listen to. And I used to spend hours and hours at night under the bedclothes listening to these tracks. And this track, Tales of Brave Ulysses, was one of the tracks that some of the lyrics stayed with me the whole of my life, and I just couldn't forget them. And I think it's one of those tracks, it's a bit Marmitey, you'll either love it or you hate it, but it's stayed with me and it's got something special about it.
You thought the leaden winter would bring you down forever, but you rode upon a steamer to the violence of the sun. And the colors of the sea blind your eyes with trembling mermaids, and you touch the distant beaches with tales of brave Ulysses, how his naked ears were tortured by the sirens sweetly singing, for the sparkling waves are calling you to kiss the white lace lips.
moving on to 1970, and this is coming up to the period in my life where I used to wear a lot of cheesecloth. I had acoustic guitar, I had very long hair, I had lots of love beads, and of course one of my favourite tracks was Woodstock by Matthew Southern Comfort. It's very old-fashioned, it's of its time, but it means a great deal to me, and when I hear it I can just be transported back so many years to the very, very early 70s and how things used to be back then. And it's just one of those songs where you hear it and you're instantly there. It doesn't get much faster than that in terms of time travel.
Walking along the road, when I asked her, where are you going, first he told me, I'm going down to Yasgur's farm, think I'll join a rock and roll band, I'll camp out on the land, I'll try and set my soul free. We are stars, and we've got to get ourselves back to the garden.
1973, and there's a song called Summer, brackets, The First Time, by Bobby Goldsboro. Bobby Goldsboro, probably best known for Seasons in the Sun, various very, very slushy records, but Some of the First Time was quite controversial when it came out. There's just something about the tune that, I don't know what it is, it just, you can feel the heat of the summer and the stillness of the absolute June inferno from this record. It starts and you hear seagulls and the sea and a little piano, and he starts to sing, and the words and the tune, and you are with him there wherever he is, in a very small town somewhere in the heart of America, and the tarmac is glistening, and as he says, the pavements were steaming, and it just, the first time I heard this, I was just moved so greatly by it. I mean, laugh if you will, but it's one of my all-time favourite tracks of all time, and I don't know why. It's just the music, it's the way it makes me feel, and I just find it very magical. As I say, quite controversial when it came out, but who doesn't like a bit of controversy?
Was a hot afternoon, the last day of June, and the sun was a demon. The clouds were afraid, 110 in the shade, and the pavement was steaming. I told Billy Ray in his red Chevrolet I needed time for some thinking. I was just walking by when I looked in her eye, and I swore it was winking. begin. She was 31 and I was 17.
Moving on to a band who were formed in 1981 and who are still going to this day. They are an incredibly difficult band to categorise and to put into any particular genre. They are Dead Can Dance, and sometimes you see them in goth listings, sometimes you see them in folk listing, sometimes you see them in medieval cover listing. It's impossible to put your finger on what their music should be categorised as, and that's something which I think marks them out as being a special group. Every record they've ever produced has been different. If you try and look at some of their back catalogue, you'll find some fantastically off the wall, strange, as I say, medieval, choral, Middle Eastern. There's all sorts of influences there, and they're a fantastic band. I highly recommend them. But the tune that I have picked for this playlist is called Children of the Sun. It's one of their more recent tracks, and it's appealing to me because it talks about the ancestors of humanity, maybe coming from maybe not this earth, and that is something that always sparks a little flame in me, takes me back to my teenage years of Chariots of the Gods and believing that astronauts from other worlds had come and landed on this planet. Not quite so sure about it these days, but this song is quite on the nose in terms of how that makes me feel. So lastly, a piece of classical music. This piece of music was first performed in 1921, so not as old as you might think. A little bit older than me, not much, but a little bit. It's by a composer called Vaughan Williams, and the song or piece of music is called The Lark Ascending. And this piece of music is meaningful to me in a number of ways. First of all, because it's intensely beautiful. It takes hold of your heart and your soul and picks it up and puts it in a blue sky high above the green fields of England on a May noontime. It's incredibly evocative of the actual sound of larks, and when you go out like we do and spend some time running in the countryside, you'll hear the larks, and this song, this piece of music, always will make me remember that, however old I get. And also, it's one of the pieces of music which I have picked for my funeral. Obviously a lot of you are going to be too young to even worry about that yet, but it's one of the things that I like to have ready, so that if and when I do shuffle off this mortal coil, I will have the music I'd like people to remember me by already organised. So I have got Fields the Nephilim track in there as well, but this one, I think when you hear it, you can't fail to be moved by it. So Vaughan Williams, The Lark Ascending. Well, thank you very much for watching this week. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found some music perhaps that you haven't heard before. Maybe you want to have a go at doing this yourself. Obviously we're going to be tagging Heavy Metal Mama, Mama Goth, Backbones, and thanks to Abigail for kicking it off. And I hope to see you again very soon. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and I will see you next time. Bye bye now.